Well, did Kuminga get better? Did Podziemski get better? TJD, Moses Moody. Do I have some young guys who can ride along with Stephen Curry next season and Draymond Green next season and hopefully Klay Thompson next season and Andrew Wiggins next season? I don't know what's going to happen to Chris Paul. He has a team option, but do I got some young guys who I can build around? Or I know, hey, I got a player there. Jonathan Kuminga looks like he could be that player, and I expect him to have a monster game without Andrew Wiggins alongside of him. That's more shots for him. That's more shots for Steph. That's more shots for Klay Thompson when he comes off the bench. But for me, FP, I just, this team, they just haven't had consistent lineups. It's just, Moody gets hurt. Wiggins is in the fuck. Then he gets hurt. Kuminga's out of rotation. Now he's starting. Now he's coming off the bench. Now he's starting. Klay Thompson, starting. Bench, starting. Not finishing. Now he's coming off the bench. Like, it's just been an inconsistent rotation for Steve. And that's why it's hard for me to come down Steve Kerr's road, FP. What is he supposed to do? I get they've blown some games, and some of his rotations have drove me crazy. But guys are in and out of lineup. Chris Paul out since January 5th. Gary Payton II has had 2 stints on the injury list. Draymond Green's been suspended twice. You know, he's missed half the season. So I don't know, man. That's the most annoying part of this season for me is just the inconsistencies with the guys in and out of the lineup.
And then Steve Kerr's getting criticized for his rotations and his lineups and who's finishing. I mean, he's trying to put it together with like duct tape right now, and he's trying to find a way to put his team in the best situation. I know there's been a lot of criticism, and I feel like unless you're in the room and you're in the building, that I'll always defer to a guy with as many rings as Steve Kerr has. Sorry, I just will.
You know what? It's funny. Dublin March. What's up, Dublin March? She's one of our favorite YouTubers. She didn't win YouTuber of the Year. That with the Ernie Chavez Doobie Awards coming to a city near you in December. Dublin March. Bonte, I'm okay if the Warriors are working towards next year's championship. Okay. How many people are cool with that? The Warriors are working towards a championship for next season. This could be the stepping stone to that championship.
Yeah, but you know how you do that is you finish the season strong.
You have to.
You're still playing for your coach who passed away, and the effort on a nightly basis has turned up 10 notches since that happened, and that's the best tribute to anybody is going out and playing hard, and they've done that on both ends, on defense too, and you just finish this thing off. You signed up for a full season, you play a full season, and you see what happens. And in your effort and the way you approach, you're developing for next year. You're not just like checking in and saying, okay, this year we've been dealt a rough hand.
Right.
You're a professional. You go out there, play. You're gonna watch Kuminga get better. You're gonna watch Podziemski get better. And meaningful games late in the season and getting to the playoffs is part of the development.
Yep.
This isn't a play-in city. This isn't a wild card city in football. This isn't a wild card city in baseball. This is a championship city.
Thank you.
This is about championships.
Thank you, FP.
Thank you, FP. We don't settle for anything less, and that's good.
Thank you, FP.
And
you know what?
And that's good.
I'm glad you said that because I argue with Shasky all the time.
No moral victories are looking toward next year, but if you play this thing out the right way, the development will happen naturally.
And people will understand it.
Yeah.
This market is smart enough to understand what you're trying to do here. And if you're built towards that championship, we got no issues with that. It's 26 games left in the season. Hopefully they get some playoff experience for the youngsters and we go on and move forward here. But I'm glad you said that about championships. Because Shasky, we always go back and forth. And I say with the 49ers, man, it's Super Bowl or bust. And it's okay to embrace that. Like as a fan, why wouldn't you want to embrace that? Your team is out there, and they're talking Super Bowl or bust.
I want my fans to embrace that if I'm those teams.
Right.
I want my fans to
But I want my teams talking like that, too.
Yeah, exactly.
On the flip side, as a fan, I want the Niners saying, hey, we're Super Bowl or bust, homie. If we don't win a championship this season, it falls short of expectations. Dude, I'm okay with that. Why don't we embrace that as a market?
Bonte, I want my front office not to say, like, if we just get in, or if we're the wild card. If you're talking about that before the season, I mean, there's 3 trophies on the corner of 3rd and King. There's, 5 Lombardi trophies with the Niners. There's 4 recent trophies with the Warriors. Like, I want my coaches, I want my front office. I have no problem with Draymond said the other day. I don't want to hear, hey, it's all we have to do is get in the wild card. Look at this team from last year. They got in the wild card and they did this. I want my owners, my front office, my coaches, and my players all talking about we want to win a World Series. We want to win the Lombardi Trophy. We want to win an NBA championship. That's why we're here. There's nothing wrong with saying that. It's not delusional.
Thank you.
You should think that as an athlete, and you should expect that as a fan.
I love that.
We're spoiled. We're entitled. Whatever.
Clip this and send it to Joe Shasky. Send it to him because this is something I love. I love the mindset. I love the mentality. We're not playing for Big Six, so what the hell are we doing? What are we doing? Like, example of my career, FP, real quick. I remember I was doing a graveyard shift at the other station. I was running Giants replays. And this young man, I'll just say his name, John Wilson, he's one of my good friends. But I remember he told me after a graveyard shift, he goes, Bonta, man, you're probably going to have to go to Bakersfield or Eureka or Fresno to get your start in the gig. And I was like, man, the hell with that. If I can't compete with the big dogs in this market that I grew up with, then what the hell am I doing this for? No disrespect to Bakersfield, no disrespect to Eureka, no disrespect to Fresno. But my goal isn't to do radio in Fresno. I want to be in the big boy market. I believe I can roll with the big boys. It was a challenge to myself, but it was also the mindset. I'm not settling to be in this market to intern and then move away to a top 75 market. That doesn't make any sense to me. If I can't stay here and find my way here, then I'm just not good enough, and then we got to recalibrate the situation. Forget all that. It's a championship mindset. I can be with the best. I can do things with the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we should feel about our football teams. Super Bowl or bust, NBA title or bust. I like that mentality. And we got that from Jan York. We got that from Joe Lacob. I don't know if we have that with the Giants right now, which is bugging the hell out of me. I don't know what the hell their mindset is right now. Platooning, flipping the eyes to Slater and platooning with Lamont Wade Jr. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, FP. But that championship mindset, I love that you embrace that. We should all embrace that.
Yeah, when it's junior college, so take that with a grain of salt, but we won the state championship at Sac City College.
Oh, I got love for junior college.
We talked about it every day, Bonta. That's why I'm bringing this up. We talked about it every day. I talked about getting the last out. It's going to be hit to me at shortstop. Right. I'm going to throw it to first. Every last swing in batting practice was championship game, bases loaded. We talked about it all season long, then we did it. And I got the last out, and it was like a dream sequence. But I think you have to think that you have to have championship mentality as a franchise, as an organization, as a fan base. Yep. Do I criticize myself as a fan that we're entitled all the time? Yeah, I've been a fan around here since I was a kid. Like maybe I'm a little entitled too, because there's a lot of regions, there's a lot of cities that haven't experienced as many parades as we've gotten to go to, be in, whatever. Like, so maybe we are spoiled, but I think if you ask the teams themselves, I want my fan base to expect this because it motivates me to be great every year.
So I like that.
It motivates me to make moves as a front office to stay great. It motivates us to, we love the high expectations. We don't want to just like have a developmental season where we're good in 4 years. Even though they've shown that blowing it up can sometimes work, but that can't happen here.
Yep.
That can't.
The JUCO angle, I love that because I bust my chops at JUCO. Yeah. No, I cover City College San Francisco men's basketball team. They're about to enter the state tournament once again. And Justin LeBlanc, Adam DeQuisto, and Tom McNichols, Coach Tom, they've done a great job. They changed my life, right? Deron Sims is now there. But they were championship or bust. And I remember when I started covering them, they lost in the Final Four. They lost in the championship game. And it was like, wow, City College San Francisco hasn't won a state basketball championship since 1962. When they finally did it, that whole year, it was all about winning, raising that banner. From there, it's all about raising banners. They've lost in a couple state championship games, and they can't stand it. They talk about that more than the 4 championships they won. You know what I'm saying? But that's the standard. I love the championship. My CFP, man, you're moving up my book, man. Stock is improving in my book. Because that's something that people are afraid of. Super Bowl, or you had a good season. No.
But Bonta, you also appreciate the effort that it takes to put yourself out there to get to that point. And you also understand how hard it is to get to that point. Yep. So two things can equally be true. You're never satisfied with second. Screw that. But you also appreciate what the Niners did for me as a fan this year.
Right.
You appreciate all the thrills and how hard they worked and all the mental and physical energy and the preparation it took to get to that point and it didn't go their way. They put themselves out there. They exposed themselves on the biggest stage, and they want to do it again, which is hard. It's hard to even think about them getting there again. And what happens if they don't win it again?
Well, it's funny. Brendan IU on YouTube, he's one of our good YouTubers. But I tell you, when are you going to argue with FP? We did about Steve Wilkes. He said Steve Wilkes is terrible, and I said Steve Wilkes is the best coach in the Super Bowl for the 49ers.
Dude,
the guy calling the plays is the one who got tight, made all the bad decisions.
I don't like arguing.
I know you're not an arguer.
I'm not an arguer on radio.
I could tell. We don't argue. We just call it healthy debates.
Healthy debates are fine.
It gets a little loud at times.
You argue with your boss. You argue at home. I don't want to get in my car and hear arguing on top of that.
Right.
I turn on Stephen A. on ESPN in the morning. They're screaming at me.
Yeah.
You reap what you sow, brother.
Chris Russo and Stephen A. are screaming. I just woke up and you're screaming at me.
In FP's voice, Joe Shasky and Bonte just woke up and they're screaming at me on 95.7.
Don't scream at me when I wake up.
Shasky and Bonte just screaming at each other.
Let me ease into the day. I don't want to hear people screaming at each
Unless
other.
Unless it's Shasky and I, right?
Yeah, it's fine. You guys are great. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best.
No, we're not the best.
You are. You are the best.
We're very mediocre.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins out today in the nation's capital. So Warriors visit the Wizards to start a 4-game road trip. They'll take on the Wizards tonight. The Knicks on Thursday at the Garden. Scotiabank Arena, Toronto, Friday night. And then, of course, Sunday against the Boston Celtics. And then they'll come back home next Wednesday against the Milwaukee Bucks.